If you're an agent looking for new and unique ways to generate business, you're in for a treat today. After listening to my conversation with Julie, you'll have a solid blueprint to, number one, help you win listing appointments, and secondly, to help you turn that one listing into multiple additional transactions. And as a bonus, my guest, Julie Colin, is going to include some examples and templates, aka cheat sheets, to generate your own branded collateral. So you're not going to have to reinvent the wheel. You're not even going to have to spend any time thinking about what you should say, what you should create. All that's going to be provided. In the true spirit of agents helping agents, I'm excited for you to hear my interview with Julie Colin out of St. Louis, Missouri. Let's jump in. Julie, welcome to the show. Are you ready to collaborate with Cole and help other agents?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. All right. You're doing something very unique that's generating, I'll say 10x returns on some of your listings. I know our friends listening will be excited about this. They're honestly, like I said before we even got started, there's so many things that you're doing that I've got probably 2 pages of notes here from previous interviews, and then my chat with our friend Jimmy Burgess, and then with the conversation that you and I had previous to this. I think we could talk for days, and I hope we have enough time to cover everything. But I want to make sure that you cover 2 of those things for us today that I think will be very impactful. These 2 things could very well be the thing that transforms someone's business who's listening right now. So first off, I'm going to ask you to unpack your listing launch process. I know that's not the official name, but as you said, our friend Jimmy Burgess kind of branded it that, and it works, right?
Going with the flow. Whatever Jimmy says, you just do.
Yeah. So I'm gonna want you to unpack that for our friends and just help them understand exactly, what you're doing, how you're doing it, with the goal being that someone listening right now, as soon as they hit stop on this interview, they're going to be able to execute on that strategy, right?
Absolutely.
And then secondly, you have to share the details about your dump or donate event that you told me about, and how that essentially kind of, I don't know if that helped you become the go-to agent in a neighborhood you don't even live in, or if other things kind of led to that, which helped grow it. Yeah, but I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'm going to let you jump in there and let us know. So, are you ready to collaborate?
Let's do it.
Let's jump in on your listing launch process. Just take us through this, how you're turning one listing into multiple listings. And I think you're also generating some buyers from going back but I'm not going to steal your thunder. So just kind of walk us through that. What that
absolutely.
looks like.
So I think I want to start off by saying, what I'm going to tell you is not how it started. It grew into this. Okay. So, I think that's really important because it can be a lot. So my advice would be to grab a couple of these things, master them, and then add another one. Then add another one. Because if you don't do them all, that's fine. You got to do at least some of them and do it consistently. So the first thing on all my listings, I will do a green screen video on the way to the listing or right before I go to the listing. And it is just a screenshot of the maps on my phone. And I put that in the background as my green screen, and I just kind of put out a little teaser. I don't have the listing yet at this point.
Oh, really?
I'm just going to the listing appointment, and it is just saying, hey, I am heading to a listing appointment. I'm pointing on the map, it's going to be in this area. I know that it is a 1.5 story homes in this neighborhood range from this range, this to this. Maybe something about the neighborhood that's really is insightful, sticks out that people would like. And then if you want to be the first to know about this, shoot me a DM and I'll, give you the scoop as soon as it's all good and go.
So I didn't realize you're doing that before you even have the listing appointment, before it's your listing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Before it's even my listing, I will head there. And that is just hey, I'm doing real estate. I'm working today, number one. Yeah. And then number two, just especially the hot areas, for people to reach out to you. And they don't reach out every time, but that's okay because people are seeing me do business. So,
yeah.
And if they do reach out, I know that, hey, this is a buyer. Like they
Yeah.
want to buy something. So here's a lead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting because you're also kind of peeling the curtain back and showing people not only are you working, but this is how you work, right?
Yeah.
And you don't even have the appointment yet. So it's almost like, I hope I get this, but I'm on my way there. But then you're also generating potential buyer leads from that so when you do the green screen, are you doing that like native app through Instagram or are you using
through Instagram? I just use their green screen filter, and it literally, the video is maybe 20 seconds. It's long and it goes into my stories only and sits there for the 24 hours and move along.
Love it. Love it. Very easy. Very easy.
Yeah. Super simple. Yeah. And you don't have to go crazy into it. Just keep it simple and post it and go on.
So you'll look up the area that the property is in, probably dial in the address or something like that. It pulls up a map and you just screenshot that map and then you open up Instagram, you go to the green screen filter when you're in stories and you throw that image up behind you and then you're just kind of pointing and very easy.
And I will tell you too that a lot of the stuff I'm talking about here, I have a whole Canva presentation on this that I will send you that you can share.
That's
and there's a sample of I ended up posting I put it on YouTube to be able to have a link to share with people what it kind of looks like. So there'll be a link to that video.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. We'll make sure that is included in the description below. We'll have links and everything for our friends. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So moving along. So now let's just say we have the listing. We got the signed paperwork. Now it's time to go to work with it. I have a strategy of picking like 50 surrounding neighbors.
Can I ask you one question real quick?
Yeah.
When you get to the listing and you're at the appointment, do you ever mention the video that you did, the story or anything?
Sure.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anytime that if they, especially if they're like big into marketing and want to know, I'd be like, I've already started marketing your property,
Okay.
and let them know. Yeah. If marketing is not like if they don't care about it, that I don't have to mention it, but I'm happy to mention it to them.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. So the actual launch itself, the listing launch, the goal of this is to attract more listings. Okay. So not necessarily to sell this home, but to attract more listings for future business for us. So I pick 50 surrounding neighbors, and I typically pick those by people that are going to see the listing. They're going to drive by. So I kind of strategically pick them on the street, maybe an off street that's going to be driving by to get out of the subdivision. Okay. And the reason is because I want to keep touching them. And I want to stick with those core 50 so I can focus on them. So them driving by is going to just be another touch that they see my sign, right?
Yeah.
I will walk the neighborhood, which means in my terms, that is, I'm going to put door hangers on their doors, knock. If they're home, great, I'll see them, talk to them. If not, I just move along. I'm always wearing my name badge. These door hangers are going to invite them. It's going to basically say, I've just listed a home in your neighborhood. So expect there to be, an open house. Expect there to see maybe agents coming in and out, maybe surveyors who might be going on your property.
Okay.
Just expect some little craziness going on. I also invite them to an open house. I brand part of it as a nosy neighbor open house, and then I have it open to the public also.
Okay.
This is all on the door hanger.
Scratching that nosy neighbor itch, right? And they get to...
Absolutely. Yeah. I welcome it. I literally have a picture of a nose.
Do you really?
To brand it. Absolutely. And you'll see that in all the material I give you, because they laugh about it. It's fun. We all know they're nosy neighbors. Right? It's totally fine. Embrace it. Get your butt in here. I want them to come to it because they're going to be talking about their neighbor's house that's listed and saying, hey, who wants to be my neighbor? I would rather them come in and actually see the house in person than, how they saw it 10 years ago when someone else lived there. Yeah. Like, look at the updates and market it like according to how it looks now.
That's a good point.
Right.
I mean, point in case, I'll see our house from time to time. We'll get like that monthly Zillow update, your home is valued, whatever. But the picture on there is from before when we bought it. And even all the landscaping is completely different now. I mean, it looks completely different. So yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay. So you walk the neighborhood and you're doing door hangers. You said sometimes you knock, though you knock. What if somebody does answer?
It's if they answer, I'll just hand it to them saying, hey, I just listed the property down the street. We're having an open house. I leave it at that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be salesy at this point. Sure. I'm wanting to let them know what's going on. I want to get their attention so that they start looking or recognizing things, because they're going to get more stuff. They're going to get a postcard. They're going to get phone calls. I just want to kind of, hey, I'm the person who is going to be doing all these things, and get their attention at this
public
point.
Service announcement, basically.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
When I walk the neighborhood, I also do the 5 surrounding homes. So you picture the house in the neighborhood. I have the 2 homes next to it, and then the 3 across the street. So us boxed in, I give them a personalized real estate review. Those 5 homes are all eyes on their neighbor, right? So I give them a personalized real estate review. I have a sample of it that I can share with everybody. Basically, it's giving them a good idea of what their home is worth, and kind of just data of the property, of their property. It is because I have not been inside their home yet. It is pretty generic, but it's just enough to get their attention and maybe, hey, wow, it's worth more than what I thought. Right. Maybe I do have quite a bit of equity in this house to move along. So
yeah. So is this something you're leaving on the door hanger with the other thing, or is this something you're personally trying to deliver? Or?
Theirs is a obnoxious big envelope that sits up. I actually, if they're not home, I put it up on their against their front door, and from the street to most houses from the street, you can see it, and it says "Hello Neighbor" on it.
Okay.
So it's in an envelope to put there. Write a little note, take a look at this, write down your questions, and I'll follow up with you in a day or two.
Nice touch.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, I'm just thinking, we've been, previous home was 12 years, same area. Home we're in right now is 9 years. I've never had a real estate agent come by and do anything like this. I think that would really make an impression for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't take long, because typically those 5 homes are going to be pretty similar. It may be, if it's a ranch or 2-story, 1.5 story, you kind of adjust the price a little bit.
Yeah.
But most of the data is the exact same that you're putting in there. So it goes pretty quick.
Yeah.
The next touch, back to these 50 people that we just door hanged, I'm going to be making phone calls to them. So I get phone numbers from truepeoplesearch.com. It's free. It is, I'd say I probably get about, realistically, maybe like 60% accurate phone numbers.
Okay.
And which is fine. That's totally fine. So my conversation on this phone call pretty much looks like, hey, this is Julie Colin with Berkshire Hathaway. I just listed your neighbor's home for sale. We're having a nosy neighbor open house on Thursday from 5 to 6. I would love for you to come see it. Typically, I kind of pause there to let them ask whatever questions they have.
Okay.
And then have any of your friends talked about moving into the neighborhood? And yes or no, whatever, you go from there. And then, hey, I promise to keep you updated on the home and hope to meet you on Thursday. So at the end there, I tell them, I'm calling you back. Okay, I promise to keep you updated. I'm calling you back.
Yeah.
And then come on out Thursday. So I just try to build some rapport with that initial phone call right there. And I want them to come to the open, because honestly, I work best face to face. Come to the open house and let me ask a few questions, the forward questions, really, family, occupation, recreation, whatever. I can then get my, hook, line, and sinker. They'll say something that I can just reel them in on.
Yeah. And I think another thing you're doing is, even though, if my neighbor had an open house, sure, I'm over here thinking I wonder what they've done on the inside. I wonder how it looks now. But I might still feel kind of weird or awkward actually going into my neighbor's house, because for me, I'm thinking okay, he's not a potential buyer, right? Like I know that he's not coming to my house to try and buy it. He's just nosy. So it's like that might prevent me from even going over there. But your warm phone call like opens that door up and says, "Hey, just come check it out. Love to meet you. Love for you to see the updates in the house and whatever." Now I'm like, okay, I have a personal invite. So I don't feel so bad going over there and looking inside my neighbor's house.
Yeah. And, I think it's really a good point to have that conversation with them. Like, I want you to see what it looks like now to help us
Yeah.
market this and help us get it sold,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that's a great touch because that would certainly open the door for me to go look at my neighbor's house where I might have some hesitation because I would feel like the nosy neighbor, which let's be honest, I am. But if the real estate agent
Everybody
calls
is.
me, yeah, if you called me personally and said, "Hey, seriously, door's open, come on over, check out the updates," I'm like, okay, now I feel more comfortable.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's why I'm not salesy on the first calls because I really want them. The first touches with them, I want them
yeah,
to feel comfortable in coming, not thinking, oh, she's just going to try to sell me on something,
right.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've walked the 50 homes, you've door knocked or put the door hangers on.
Yep.
You've done the 5 personalized real estate reviews for
Yep.
those 5 right around there. Now you've made phone calls,
Yeah.
and now what's next step?
Typically by this time I have all of my marketing materials back as far as professional photos, videos, all of that. So I'm sending everybody the just listed postcards.
Okay.
What's important to know about my just listed postcards is I don't do generic postcards to where they say, "Oh, I've listed your neighbor's home," like blah blah blah. I make it very detailed to where, hey, we've been working behind the scenes on getting this house ready. And I give them specific dates of when I actually started this process. So let's say we are at beginning of March. I will say in there, January 5th was my initial consultation. Pre-marketing began
Hmm.
on this day. Staging began on this day. We prepped the home for however long. Professional photography, videography was on this day. We launched it coming soon on this day, blah, 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 all the things. And then next step is under contract.
So
I also,
that's really interesting, and I can just think of how that would capture somebody that receives, because your typical just listed cards is a big picture of the house, 1234 Main Street, just listed. Woo!
yeah,
That. So I look at that
yeah,
real quick, and I'm like, okay, I already know what the house looks like, so that goes in the round file, right? But you're taking somebody through kind of a timeline like that journey before it gets listed, and kind of showing them what your worth is, right? The value you
exactly.
bring.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
I want to make it, I don't want to make it overwhelming for them, but I also want them to know, like, it's not just putting it in the MLS. Like, we have a
Yeah.
lot of prep behind the scenes, vendors, all the things that goes on to make sure that your neighbor is going to get the
Yeah.
max return. Absolutely.
And
I
is
also
is
make
that
sure
is
that,
that in your
okay,
slide deck that you're going to share with
yep,
us?
yep, I'll
Oh,
have
awesome. Okay.
like my postcards, my door hangers, all of that stuff. It's going to be Canva templates that people can just click on and start inserting their own stuff into
Oh,
and be
wow.
done.
You are so kind.
Yeah,
That is amazing, Julie. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. The other thing I make sure I have on there is a QR code that's going to go to my listing video. I want them to
Oh,
be able to see not only the professional photos, but that video that I do for all of my listings so that they can, see the quality of marketing that goes out.
yeah. Wow, that's huge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Yeah. And if they're sharing that video with somebody who might be interested, then they're actually seeing the home from your point of view. So you're getting to highlight everything
Yeah.
instead of, you might, we'll look at a different scenario. Let's say you have a buyer client who's out of town or whatever, and you're walking through a home kind of FaceTiming or showing them whatever. If that's not your listing, you don't know that home's story, right? You don't know the
Yep.
backstory and the this and the that. But
Exactly.
this is your listing. So if somebody's watching that video, you're hitting all the highlights and tugging on the emotions and all that. That's genius. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Once that hits, I use Chalk Digital for online targeting of ads. So I will create online ads that basically it's a paid paid social media basically.
Okay.
And that's going to hit out, and I can pick the radius, where I want to target the area, all of that stuff. So
there's digital?
Chalk digital.
Chalk.
Yep.
Okay.
Chalk it up.
Okay. I like it. All right. So that's anything else on the just listed cards that go out?
Nope. It's just important that it's the same 50 people that you walked, called. We want to focus on those 50 people.
Okay. So even the just listed cards, those are just going to your core 50.
Yep.
Okay.
The only time I change that is if it's like in my farm area, then they get everything every time.
Okay. Gotcha.
The entire subdivision. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
My just sold. So the properties were done and closed, let's say. Now they're getting the just sold postcards.
Okay.
So my just sold cards, again, going to that same 50 people, and my the just sold cards actually have data on it also. So it says like the final stats are in. It says how many days it took us to execute our marketing plan, how many open houses we had, how many days on the market, how many offers. That was a big thing during COVID.
Yeah.
I kind of adjust that sometimes. How many inspections there were, how many appraisals, and then an estimate of how many communications were exchanged between myself, vendor, title, homeowner, other agents, vendors, whatever, anything relating to this property. Oh my gosh.
What does that number typically average?
It's kind of keep it under like 200 something is typically.
I was going to say in the hundreds for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I put that in too, because that's kind of like the overwhelming factor of, oh my God, I don't have time to be making 200 plus communications on selling my own home. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So you put a little bit of that, in there so that they're like, geez, okay, so maybe it is more than what I think it is.
Yeah. Maybe it's not as simple as just putting a for sale sign in the yard and it's done.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's huge. Again, you're showing your value, your worth, and you're kind of taking them through that timeline. And that's an eye opener. That's huge. Yeah. Love that.
So the last the last two things on here is I circle dial them again. Whoever those people are that I spoke to and told them I'm going to be calling you back. I call them back and basically give them the update. I am addressing them by first name because I've talked to them by now. Hey, John, it's Julie again with Berkshire Hathaway. Not sure if you noticed, but you have new neighbors. As promised, I'm following up with you. We were able to sell it at, XYZ price. Typically they ask questions at this point, and, have that conversation with them. And I always end it with like, hey, John, I would be the worst realtor in the world if I didn't ask you if there was a price that you would sell your home for. And of course, everybody will sell for $10 million, right?
Right.
I said, well, when you're ready, I'd love to give you the opportunity to give you that same 5-star service I gave your neighbors, and kind of leave it at that. So,
I'm just curious, have you ever had someone when you're on the phone with them like that actually said, we have actually been considering listing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's pretty general though. Like we were just speaking about it. But great. Let's chat about it in a couple weeks. You guys, discuss whatever and kind of go from there. They're always in the bump follow-ups. They, once I talk with them, I know their names. I have their phone numbers.
Oh, sure.
I'm now, they're in my CRM and I'm in communication with them. Yeah. So, the last thing I do is, depending on this property, if they have an influx of buyers that come in, I will do a magic buyer letter. I follow Tom Ferry. I follow all kinds of people. And this is something that they had introduced last year in 2024, was that magic buyer letter, writing to share a unique opportunity that may interest you. A couple was eager to join our neighborhood and wants me to find them their dream home. And so basically it's very, I have a buyer and they want to be here. Are you willing to, are you looking to move no obligation, to make this happen. But if you are interested, let's just have a chat to see if it's a perfect match for them. Anyway, so that I send that out to those.
To the 50?
Actually, that one I will send to the entire neighborhood.
Okay.
If I truly have that buyer. I'm not making this up. If I don't have a buyer for it, or there wasn't an influx of buyers that specifically want to be in that neighborhood, I'm not going to send it out and lie about it. But if there is, I absolutely send it out.
Okay. So would that be for buyers that didn't win the bid, basically? Like
if they're being represented by another agent,
right.
I don't make it that specific, but I will touch those 50 people. And when I, in that conversation, say, hey, we actually had quite a bit of activity here of people who wanted to live here. So like if you're interested, I can reach out to those agents to say, hey, we have another seller who may be coming on. So I just have that conversation with them. I'm not going to go after or act like I'm representing those buyers. If
not at all. But
right. Yeah. But if it's like an open house and I capture someone off of that, and I'm happy to start basically just another touch to those people.
Yeah,
trying to get the business in. So
yeah. Wow. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Anything final steps that we didn't cover on the listing launch?
Listing launch. So I kind of wrap it up a little differently and market myself to the buyers of the home. They're now out of contract with their client, with their agent, because they closed on the home successfully. I now just do a 3 postcard series to them. And it's basically the front of the postcard says, welcome to your next home, or welcome to your new home.
Okay.
In the back of it says, I'm Julie Colin. I was the listing agent on for this property. And if you have any questions about the home or anything, feel free to reach out to me. I give them my email address and just say, that's it. So I want to be a point of contact for them if they do have questions. And a lot of times they do, and go to your agent if you want to, that's fine. But here's my info.
Yeah.
The next 2 postcards I send them, and it's 3 weeks. So every week I send it. It's the first one's welcome to your new home. The second one is you're getting settled in. Here's a list of change of addresses to think about. Maybe you haven't thought about, and just give them a whole list.
Yeah.
The next one is how to meet your neighbors. Easy tips to follow on how to meet the neighbors. So, very simple. I leave it at that. I then put those people into my CRM, and I have obviously their first and last names. I have their address, and I know when they closed on their home. So I put that into my CRM, and every year I will follow up with a real estate review for them and letting them know the value of their home this year, and happy 1-year anniversary.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. I love that idea, because most agents and most loan officers, if I'm being honest, do an absolute terrible job of following up with their past clients. They just do. I mean, and you probably already know these. A recent study of home buyers or homeowners, if you will, were asked, would you work with your same agent again? And it was like 82% of them said, yeah, they were good. I would. Or great. Only 21% could actually remember their agent's name. Right. So it's amazing. So that's just not low hanging fruit, but that's just something right there. You could adopt, that client into your database like you're doing. And now Julie is their go-to person. And Julie knows all the intimate details about the home that they just bought because she was the listing agent. So, wow, that's genius. That's genius. Love that.
I think that was something that I adopted probably 3 or 4 years ago that has been huge. Is I ended up going through my entire database and just going into tax records and looking at, now I probably have about 350 to 400 people that I spend money on every single month, whether it's postcards, whatever I'm doing, I'm targeting those people. Okay. And I went through my database and looked in tax records to find out when they actually purchased their home and put that into my CRM. So every day I get an email of birthdays and anniversaries, and it's home anniversaries of when they purchased. So they're getting an update on Homebot, which
very familiar.
I'm a huge fan of, as well as as that real estate reviews on their anniversaries, text messages on anniversaries, birthdays, all of that stuff. So I think
So
it's
hold
really
on.
important.
So you just shared something like it was just like I just do this. This is no brainer. I do it all the time. But I think this is gold. So is this like a farm area that you're referring to that you
No,
went into the tax
it's
records?
family, friends, it's past clients, all of that.
Okay.
I probably spent, realistically, I probably spent about a full day. I had a spreadsheet out with their names, their addresses. If I didn't have their address, I was stalking the heck out of people to figure out what their
Okay.
address was and when they purchased their home. And then I just uploaded all that data into my CRM. And so it just gives me notifications on
Yeah.
their anniversary and stuff. So,
So what
yeah.
an easy if you do the work, but what a great free tip for our friends listening right now is the beautifulness of the internet and all the information that's available. You have your database, or you should have a database, put together, and just search for those people in your database, or even a farm area for agents that are farming, and find out, public records when they bought their home. And
Yeah.
then you've got home anniversary phone
And
calls or whatever.
I mean, you could now, like with ChatGPT, you could have all that on a spreadsheet and then throw it into ChatGPT and say, hey, make me a 12-month calendar of all of these dates, and list it out so that then you could print off a calendar that let
Wow.
ChatGPT do it for you and have a whole calendar like January. Here's all my dates and here's all the home anniversaries or birthdays or whatever.
Okay.
Like,
Wow. That's amazing. ChatGPT is crazy.
it is. I love it.
Oh my gosh. It's like a free personal assistant, or it's a
Oh,
$20 a month
100%.
personal assistant if you have the
100%.
paid version, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Okay, so that's your as Jimmy Burgess coined it, your listing launch
Yep.
process, if you will, which is phenomenal. I
Cole,
know our friends listening.
yeah. Cole, let me add to this.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot. Like I said at the beginning of it, like just do a couple things. Like just master a couple things, and then when you get comfortable with that, do the next thing. But I want to say that this is not only like if you have listings, if you don't have any listings, you're brand new, go just ask an agent. I promise you, most people in your office or within your company are not doing the circle dialing and the walking the neighborhood. Now, 99% of them are not doing it.
I
So just
guarantee. Yeah.
ask a listing agent. Just say, hey, do you mind? Can I hold the house open for you? I'm gonna, I'm gonna market to these people to get them to the open house and let them know about it and whatever. Just
That's
ask
a
an
great
agent.
tip. Yeah.
Absolutely. If it's going to help them sell the house, and
Yeah.
go for it.
So
Right.
so if you weren't, I got all this going. I've done all the legwork. I've refined my system. If you weren't Julie Colin and you're listening to this interview right now and you haven't done any of these things, what are maybe one or two things that you would definitely start doing today?
Nosy neighbor open house,
Okay.
which means you're going to walk the neighborhood, invite them to it.
Okay.
To me, the just listed and just sold postcards are full of value. So don't even worry about calling the people. Don't even worry about calling them. Try to get them to the open just by, because calling them, getting the phone numbers, it takes some time. It does.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie about it.
Yeah.
But walk the neighborhood. That's easy and cheap. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest one. But get in front of them. So hold that open house, hold the nosy neighbor open house, get them there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And for our friends listening, again, just a reminder, we're going to have links to some of this collateral that Julie has referred to, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to, you're not going to get writer's block or creative writer's block. It's going to be there for you.
Yep.
So thank you so much, Julie, for
Yep.
offering that. That's amazing. All right, let's jump into number 2, which now listening to, your listing process and all the things you do to get to know the people around that, I have a feeling that this probably helped propel you into becoming the mayor of the neighborhood or subdivision that you're in right now that you don't actually even live in. But walk us through that, how you became like the go-to agent for a neighborhood that you don't even actually live in.
Yeah. So you're exactly right. The listing launch is what accidentally captured this as my farm area.
Yeah.
I at the end of the year, I was just reviewing numbers and, doing business reviews and stuff. And I was like, holy cow, I sold a lot of homes in that neighborhood. And then I pulled stats and I was like, oh my gosh, I was the number one agent in there. So as soon as I saw that, I just ran with it.
Okay. Yeah.
The marketing, everything. I was like, well, it is what it is. So let's go. And I just kind of told them that I was their go-to agent and just kept marketing it that way. I ended up reaching out to the homeowners association. I figured out who their management company was,
Okay.
and I called them. And sometimes they're not the nicest, but sometimes they're fantastic. And I lucked out and they were fantastic. And she was like, I said, hey, I'm a local realtor here. I've sold numerous homes in the neighborhood. I really want to start providing value to them. And I was like, I don't want to be salesy, any of that. I just want to provide the value to them so that I can also stay in front of their face. Win-win for everybody. And I was like, here are the ideas I have. I want to do like a back to school Kona Ice thing for them, just to get the neighborhood together and kind of, bond a little bit. They do no events in there at this point. So she was like, I think all of this sounds fantastic. I said, I really want to do a dump or donate event. And she's like, what are you talking about? Well, I said, I'm going to bring in a dumpster. They can use it for free. I'm going to bring in Habitat for Humanity. They'll bring their big truck and they can either donate their stuff to Habitat for Humanity or they can throw it in the dumpster. At the end of the day, they don't have to pay for a thing. They bring their junk and get rid of it. And there we go. And she's like, oh my God, they're going to love this. So she got me in touch with the actual homeowners association, like the HOA, the president and all that stuff. They did not want me. There was 4 people on this team and only one of them really wanted me. And he was like, let's do a private Zoom. So we Zoomed together. This was during COVID. It was totally laid back. And I was like, listen, I understand why they don't want me. There's a lot of realtors out there who are a pain in the butt, too salesy. They don't want all that in there. I said, I just want to provide value. And I'm going to be there though, to talk with them in person. And he was like, let's do it. Let's just do it. I'll smooth it over with the rest of the team. I said, okay. So he let me in, and then it's been golden since. And I think that it's really important for me to emphasize that everything I do in there is I do want to provide value, and it's not a big sales pitch for me. Yes, I'm wearing realtor, garb. They know me as the realtor. A lot of them think I live in there. So when I tell them I don't, they're like, what? And I was like, I know. One day I will. One day I will.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So dump or donate, what are some things that you get? Do you get huge couches and all kinds of stuff?
Couches, mattresses, furniture, old toys, like anything. They bring it up and it's literally their day just to get rid of their big junk. I've had numerous people text me, reach out saying, are we going to do dump or donate again this year?
Yeah. They've got some stuff, right?
We are.
And so Habitat brings a big truck and they load up stuff that is worthy of saving.
Yeah. And surprisingly, they take so much stuff. And the homeowners, they feel great about it because they're like, oh my gosh, I thought this was a dumpster item. They're going to be able to resell this. Perfect. Yeah. So.
Oh, that is amazing. I mean, what a way to give back, and what a way to generate publicity, for yourself without being, hey, I'm the big agent and we're here's a bunch of, cards and flyers and whatever. It's like you're providing a service. And by the way, I am a real estate agent. I've done a lot of business in this neighborhood and so on and so forth. So just kind of more.
And
of
you can do,
organic.
farms are really hard because you don't have email addresses and that contact information typically. So it's always good to do like giveaways and like sign up for whatever for a giveaway so that you can start capturing their information. I think that's really important. I created with this farm area, I created a website that to provide more value to them. And it's actually just a web page that sits on my website. I did buy the URL that directs to it.
Okay.
BarrettHavenCommunity.com is what it is. but I have like their bylaws, restrictions on there. I have links to the school districts that are in there. Basically, I want it to be like the go-to guide for Barrett Haven. If you're looking to move into Barrett Haven, this is like your source. It has photos, video overview of like the lifestyle. All the homes listed for sale that have sold the past year, all of that.
What is the website again?
BarrettHavenCommunity.com. BarratHaven. Community.com.
BARAT?
Yep. HAVEN.
Community.com. Okay. I'm going to check that out. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good idea. Okay. All right. That's a lot of information. I don't think we're going to have time to get to everything, because this is just great. I mean, I know someone listening right now is going to be able to, I mean, when they hit stop on this interview, Julie, I swear they're going to be able to execute on at least 2 or 3 of these things that you've mentioned. And they'll see some results. There's no doubt about it. Okay. I've got a 2-question lightning round, and, I hope that I prepared you for these questions already. At least I think that I did.
I'll wing it. Don't worry about it.
We'll find out here in about 22.8 seconds if I prepared you or not. Just 2 quick questions. What is your favorite tech tool that others need to know about, and how are you using it?
Sure. Favorite most used is probably ChatGPT, but I'm not going to go into that one because we all better be using it by now. Right. It is literally my assistant. The other one I would say is Homebot. I use it. I love it because it just allows me to stay in front of my clients in a meaningful way without being intrusive. If you're not familiar with it, it is AI driven, home finance and wealth building tool, pretty much. It's interactive for homeowners. It keeps them engaged with their home's value, market trends, equity building strategies. So they are able to go in and, make adjustments on how much, they have left in their mortgage. And if I made $200 extra a month on my mortgage payment, how would that change my, my balance, all that. So, I love it. And I think that I feel like it's simple. I don't have to do much to it. There are a lot of tools in it that I am not using, but will be using this year. 2025, I have a goal to my real estate reviews that I do. Yeah. I want to do the BombBomb video CMAs inside of Homebot. And if you're not familiar with a video CMA is, just go check out Jimmy Burgess's YouTube. He has samples on there. He was the brilliant man that brought that to fruition years ago. But be able to send them those videos through Homebot on their anniversary of when they purchased the home. So that's my next goal with all of that.
That's a good goal. And the solicited video CMA a day, I connected with Jimmy on that back in 23, I think, and I'm now facilitating my 4th class or mastermind with agents that I'm helping them with this, and then holding them accountable, being that accountability partner. And it's a 90-day charge, right? Charging hard for 90 days. So that's great. Homebot, I'm a huge fan. In my Homebot, I have actually gone in and personalized a lot of those videos because there are so many different tools in there. It's like a mortgage statement on steroids, right? But then it also will let you know about your value and your neighbor's value. And then, like you said, you can, as the homeowner, if you're in Homebot, you can kind of toggle, what if I applied, like you said, it has those tools. What if I threw $100 a month extra, $500 a month? What does that do? And it's very intuitive. It's a great program. So we'll have links to that below.
Do you have you customized it? Do you do a lot of stuff with it, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to chat with you more about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. To kind of see, because I've had it for a good year and a half, and people love it. And just this weekend I had a girlfriend. She lives on the lake. And her value came up super low compared to other homes on the lake. Well, because she's on the lake, her value goes way up, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Homebot doesn't know that. And she reached out like, what the hell is this? And I
Yeah,
was like,
freaking out.
this is exactly why I love this tool. I want you to freak out and call me
Absolutely.
because you know what I mean? Like, let's
Yeah.
start those conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
there's so many different tools and things that a homeowner who is in Homebot, if you've loaded them in Homebot, there's so many things that they can utilize. And the cool thing is each time they utilize that, I get a notification.
Yep.
Right? It's like,
Absolutely.
hey, Julie is curious about her neighborhood's values or, whatever. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
Julie, how you doing? Just checking in. Is there anything,
Yep.
anything going on? Like, well, yeah, our last kid's about to graduate. So we're I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. So it's almost kind of like Big Brother a little bit. Right? But there's so much value in there for a homeowner that's loaded into it. So yeah, would love to chat with you about that and see if there's anything I can help you out on. Okay, second question for you. Who, in your opinion, is a must-follow agent on socials that you think others would benefit from by following them?
I would definitely have to give a shout out to Marie Boatsman in Portland, Oregon. Marie and I were collaborate together on a lot of things. She is a perfect mix of business and personal. And
okay,
of course, she's gorgeous also. You go on her Instagram, it's just beautiful. But she just does a fantastic job. I don't know how she does it. Of mixing both of them. So her Marie B Realty is how you follow her on Instagram.
Is it
yeah,
Marie?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
Marie B Real Estate? Realty.
No, just Realty. Realty.
Okay. All right. I don't think that I follow her, so I will definitely be following her right now. Very cool.
There you go, Marie.
Nice shout out to Marie there. Very cool. Well, Julie, thank you so much. I really appreciate you carving out time to collaborate today, and more importantly, for opening up your playbook for your fellow agents. I mean, you honestly, you've made an intentional impact on your community to help educate, equip, and empower someone who's listening right now. And I know that they're going to be able to hit stop and execute. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.